Howdy, folks. So I apologize for the kind of ghetto-ness of this setup. I'm traveling for the holidays, so I'm with family right now, and this wrought iron table that's under this is the only thing I could clip my camera onto, so I just had to put a placemat on it so that I could, so the screws wouldn't fall through it, because there's going to inevitably be a teardown of this device. And I'm wondering if anyone can guess. Can you guess what this is? It's all aluminum. It's got a button, two LEDs, a USB charging port on it. I'm covering up the text on the bottom so that you don't immediately know what it is. Have you made your guess yet? It's from China. It's kind of dangerous. It's a hand warmer. I bought this about a year ago, and the idea behind this is you charge it over USB. It's got a lithium-ion cell in it, and you push the button, and it basically warms up. And then you throw this in your pocket of your coat or whatever, and it's supposed to, just put off, a slight amount of heat and keep your hand warm. Only one hand. You either have to swap this between pockets, which is what I did, or buy two of these. But at like $20 each, I didn't want to buy two of these because I wasn't entirely sure if these things would even work or not. And so I used it for 1 year, and it was okay. I mean, it was warm. It wasn't really hot, and it was definitely very slow to heat up. And of course, it didn't last very long. It was only about an hour, but I mean, you kind of expect that. I mean, you're just pissing away the energy as heat. So, given the size of the battery that's got to be in this, it doesn't really surprise me. So I kind of expected everything that I got. So I eventually kind of like lost this at the end of the season, and only when I was packing up for the holidays did I find it again. And so I charged it up, and now when you turn it on, it does some really weird, funky stuff with this LED. This is the power LED, and green basically means it's good, and orange or red color means the battery's low. And you can see it's kind of pulsating between the two colors. And I'm not entirely sure if that's just the switch or if there's something weird going on there, because I can actuate the switch a bunch of times and it still does it. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. It might be the switch, because it's kind of strange. But it definitely does still get warm, so even though it's doing a lot of weird flickering and stuff, it seems to have... It's not nearly as bad now as when I first picked it up, because I've been actuating the switch a lot. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I'm going to take this apart, so we're going to find out. But it is getting warm. I can feel it getting warm in my hand, so I'll use it regardless of what the LED does, because, I mean, who cares? It's got to be just a resistor and a battery. And then there's got to be some sort of LiPo charge circuit in here and a battery monitor, so there's got to be some sort of voltage reference, and then maybe a comparator or something on that. So yeah, it's just got a charging and on-off, pretty much. That's it. This is the model P8420. I think I bought this on Amazon. I'm not entirely sure where I got this. There are definitely some really sketchy ones out there that I would not trust at all. This thing seemed to be okay, so we'll find out, I guess. It's got two small screws on the bottom. So, let's see if I don't have all of my proper tools with me, unfortunately, because I am traveling, so I have to work with what my family has. And luckily they do have a jeweler's screwdriver set. Well, that flew off. So just a little plastic end cap there. And there's a little plastic bar that screws into. So I'm assuming that I can push this through. There has to be a way to push this. Oh, nope, goes out the other way. Okay. Cool. So we've got just a aluminum extrusion. It's all one piece. Quite thin, as you'd expect. It's anodized black. I think you can get this a bunch of colors. And we've got the innards. So this is our heating element, obviously. And it's got... Oh, I see. Okay, so there is a thermocouple. There's actually a thermocouple right here. So they do have some way of doing temperature sensing, which is nice. And we've got just like it's like a resistive element that snakes along, and then they've got some sort of a plastic on top of it, and then it's just held on there with capped on. It's just taped on there. And on the other side, in this plastic frame they've got here, this would be our cell, and it's kind of a sketchy looking LiPo cell. It doesn't have any protection circuitry on it at all. It's just bare tabs, so obviously whatever this is has to have the protection in it, if it has protection at all. And they've just taped the cell in here. I wonder if there's writing on the other side of the cell, maybe a capacity. I don't remember if they actually advertised how big the cell was, or if they just advertised the runtime. Whether, you know, printing the capacity on the cell actually means anything anyway, because, I mean, realistically. Oh, the tape just tore. That's just wonderful. Let's just rip that. Okay. So let's just fold that out and see if there's anything. Ah, there we go. We do have writing on this side. So, 1050 milliamp hour, and a whole bunch of numbers that I don't really care about. So they do have a capacity rating on there. Not sure whether it's valid or not, but it's at least there. So on this board, we've got our push button switch here. There's obviously our bicolor LED right there. So it is actually a bicolor LED. They don't just have two. Ow, wow, ow, that really hurts. So when you touch that and it's on, that is hot. That is really hot. So it obviously just takes a while to propagate through this, but that really, wow. See, how long can I hold my hand on there before that? Yeah, no, okay, I can't do it any longer. That's a lot hotter than I expected. Given how really not hot the case gets, that's interesting. It would have been nice. I mean, it would have made a lot more sense if they had somehow put thermal compound on this and actually adhered it, like thermally bonded it to the outside. You'd get a hell of a lot better thermal transfer through that. But I don't know. It's too cheap, obviously, for something like that. So we've got, yeah, we definitely have a thermocouple in here. So it definitely has a temperature feedback. So obviously, it reaches some preset temperature and then just stops the heater, just cycles it on and off. We have two, actually no, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chips in here that have more than 3 pins. And I don't have a magnifying glass with me, so I don't think I'm going to be able to read any of these. So sorry if you wanted a reverse engineering, but I don't really think that's, I mean, it's a bloody heater. I don't think you need to know what the chip numbers are to design your own. No, I'm not going to be able to read those. No, I don't think these would be any more than just basic like comparators and maybe a power MOSFET. I wouldn't expect there to be anything advanced in this thing at all. The construction quality is iffy. I mean, the battery just looks really sketchy. That's kind of what... I don't like the way the battery looks. But, yeah, that's what's in it. I don't know what this flickering is. It could be that the contacts in this switch have oxidized, which is very possible, given the fact that it's gotten better. So I might just try and clean the switch or something. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. I mean, it's just a heating element, a battery, and some charge circuitry. So I wouldn't say I recommend this. It definitely works, but it could be made a lot better. So I'm not sure if you spent more money on something by a reputable company if you'd get something significantly better than this. I might actually try and find a way to put some thermal grease in this and try and get conduction through. I might try that. Not today, though. but maybe in the future, if it turns out that this thing isn't completely borked and that is just a switch problem. Otherwise, the cell's starting to do some weird stuff, then screw it, because it's not worth me trying to fix this. But yeah, anyway, that's what's inside a P8420 hand warmer. Thanks for watching.